All right, fans of the world, welcome back for episode 7 of Between Two Rigs. I am Jeremy Compton, VP of Engineering. With me, I have Pat Salvo, our CEO at DET Consulting. Today's topic is a great one. We're going to get right into it. Most of the fan mail we got over our Thanksgiving performance video, those who did have aunts named Sally, we're sorry. Might want to make that up at Christmas. Okay, moving on. Since we have it in our logo, we talk about it. It's on our lovely sponsored backdrop behind us. Performance is everything. We talk about performance all the time. When we think of in like the 80s and the 90s and somebody shot a big buck and they were like, I shot a big buck. What's the first thing you asked? It was a metric. Well, how wide was it?
Yeah.
How many points did it have? Right? So
what did it score?
What did it score? Now it's, was it low fence or high fence? Was it, there's 18 things that you have to ask before you can actually tell them it was a good deer. Same thing with fishing. You catch a trout. Well, how long was it? How much did it weigh? Well, who cares if it's 5 pounds bigger than anything you've ever caught before? There's some metric that we judge. So when we get into drilling, that's a question. What is performance?
Yeah.
I think, what do most people look at now? First thing that comes to is, well, how fast did you drill?
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Well, we all love a good days versus depth curve, but a good days versus depth curve doesn't tell a whole story. Or, maybe your customer didn't think it was a good well. Maybe it was a great well. What is that metric? So I think that's what we need to start looking at. And when we talk about performance, what do you think of as performance?
Yeah, so in our line of business, when we're talking about performance is everything, it's not always about that days versus depth curve and what it looks like. It's about what we're delivering to our customer. Did our customer's definition of success, was it met or not? And that's what matters really to us whenever we're talking about going and doing a project with a group and being their operations side is what are the definitions of success and how do we get there? It's not always the days versus depth curve. It might be having a really smooth well with forward moving progress all the time and no hiccups, nothing really to talk about with their money funding, right? That might be a definition of success. And if that's what we're going to do, then we have to set the project up to meet those goals. And that's really what we think performance is everything is. It's not a days versus depth curve, not a high ROP. It's making sure that we deliver what our customer wants first time, every time.
Right. And, you talk about day one performance. And when we say that day one performance, it means we're coming out on day one and we're executing what the plan was.
Yep.
We're not having to learn how to execute what the plan was.
Right.
I think we just did a great project for one of our great customers, Riley Permian, which is just, to me, is the exact example of what is performance.
Yeah.
They wanted to put 139 sleeves in a 7,500 foot lateral. They wanted a rifle barrel lateral.
Right.
They wanted to be able to trip casing to bottom. They didn't want to jeopardize stuff.
Right.
They had a whole list of things that were very important to them for other reasons other than our days versus depth.
Right.
So our ability to come in here and give them, but also give them those objectives and drill the well on the pace of their fastest well ever. That's day one performance. And the performance is we had a list of criteria that they had to accomplish, and we gave that to them 100%.
Yeah, and the fact about it is that whenever we had that list of criteria for success and for performance on this project, none of it had to do with ROP or how fast it was done. We still set expectations for ourselves in measure and metrics on how the performance actually is going. Because if we don't do that, how can we ever understand if we're meeting expectations or not on the entire project? And it was a great project that I think was executed very, very well.
Yeah, and I think our fields aren't as homogeneous as we'd like to believe, right? When we talk about an Eagle Ford well, first thing everybody thinks about is a easier Karnes County, 8,000 foot, 8,500 TVD. We've drilled a bunch of those in 4 or 5 days, right? Like you go out there 5.5 days, you're tripping out of the hole to run casing.
Right.
You're just smoke show. We did 5,500 foot a day in a lateral, staying in a 10-foot window. Like that's a very good measure of performance.
Sure.
But you can't compare that to a deep McMullen 14,000 foot TVD well, LaSalle, or you get over in Lavaca County and some fringe stuff, and you're looking at 12, 13,000 at 340, 350 degrees. Well, if you drill that well in 20, 22 days, it's a pretty good well.
That's success.
It's a 10,000 foot lateral. That's success, and that's performance. And, I think a lot of times people hear us talk about performance and they're like, oh, they're just a bunch of cowboys, they're just gung-ho. And like, no, if we can't provide the customer what they want, we didn't perform. It doesn't matter if we go drill a 6-day well in Wilson County.
That's right.
We need an 8,000 foot lateral and a 10-foot window, and we need to manage issues happening around us in the field. So when we get into this to performance, I think our metric system is a little skewed now. People just want to see speed. But a lot of customers, they'd rather drill a 6-well pad and budget it and drill it in 7 days and everything go executed 100% perfect, then us try to push the limits in this area or that area. And maybe we drill 4 wells at 5 days and 1 at 10. That average is faster.
Yeah.
But they don't want to talk about that 10-day well right now.
Right.
We need to be consistent in this market. So being consistent, providing your customer everything that they want, and doing it at high level performance is performing.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
It's not just going fast anymore.
Yeah.
It's going fast and being consistent and executing the plan the first day you show up.
Yeah, and I mean that's where we've sort of adjusted what performance actually means, and it's not like we said, it's not a ROP type thing. It is what is the defined goals? How are we going to do there? Let's plan for a great execution and then go execute that, and then we meet the goals, and that is performance.
Yes.
For what we're seeing and dealing with our customers. It's something we strive for every day.
Awesome. All right. That'll wrap up this week. Remember, when in doubt, keep it salty. Tune in next week. We're going to be bringing some new stuff to you. Very excited about it. We've got the holidays coming. Probably going to need to do some repair work after Thanksgiving performance video. Feedback was a little rough. We apologize for that. And that's why we needed to define performance this week to make sure everybody was on board with what we define as performance. And we're sorry, Aunt Sally.
Love you, Aunt Sally.